everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today I'm going to show you step by step how you can totally draw and paint this adorable fuzzy cute spider. Now this adorable fuzzy cute spider is actually part of something I call the 13 days of Halloween, where every day from October 1st to October 13th, I meet with my community and give them a brand new fun, spooky, or Halloween themed painting. So he is part of that program. Now today on the mic is my husband, John.
Hello.
He's going to be helping me bring this fabulous painting lesson to you, where I'm going to break down every technique, every step, every tool that I'm using, and show you how you can create this for yourself. To help you do that, if you check the description down below, I like to put some important information down there. Just hit the more button and it'll open it up. You'll see the materials that are being used in today's class, size of the canvas, colors, brushes. You'll also see timestamps and chapter marks so you can save your spot and come back to it again later, and a link to the free traceable that you can just download. Now I'm going to break down how to draw him and paint him step by step. But if you don't want to do the drawing part, because drawing is not your favorite and it's the kind of scary you don't enjoy for Halloween, that traceable is there and free for download for you to use. Now that you know all the things, there's really nothing for you to do but get your paint, get your brushes, and come back and meet me at these right now. We're going to paint this cutie pie together. So for today's fun class, I have an 8x8 canvas on my easel, and the colors on the palette are Mars Black, Burnt Sienna, Cad Yellow Medium, Cad Red Medium, Quinacridone Magenta, Phthalo Blue, Ultramarine Blue, and over here I have Cad Red, Cad Yellow, and Burnt Sienna for the background that we're going to mix at the beginning. And then I have some Titanium White. I've got an artist knife right here. I may use some of my fluid white acrylic later for the fine hairs if my white is just thick and I'm performing at the end, because we sit and paint in one session. And I also have some satin glazing liquid. If it's a dry day, I will be using that. I'll let you guys know if I need it. All right, I think let's paint the background.
All right.
All right, so I'm going to take an artist knife and I'm going to come over here and mix a little red into my Cad Yellow. Create a nice orange and then mix some brown into there.
That's orangey brown.
It's an orangey brown. Just a little different than Burnt Sienna, just a little more. A little extra.
I like a little extra.
It's just a little extra. But it'll
extra.
vibrate against our blue, so that's why I wanted it. I probably didn't need to put out that much paint. That might have been
It's okay.
Overkill.
It's okay. Yeah. Just a little, but that's okay.
Just a little bit for this back. I think I put out enough for 12 by 12, and what I'm painting on here is like an 8 by 8, so I over-assessed a little bit. Wipe that off. Now I'm going to take a fairly big brush. This is a 1-inch oval mop. It's by Princeton Select, and it's the one that's the brown with the dark tips. You don't want the white, you don't want the black, you want the brown with the dark tips. I'm going to get it slightly wet. Come over here and paint my whole canvas this kind of orange-brown color. This is between yellow ochre, burnt sienna, and orange. It's a color. Paint this whole canvas this color.
Whole canvas this color.
Whole canvas. You can make the size this color too if you want. Way more paint than I needed. That'll happen sometimes when you're guesstimating how much paint you need to put out. And then I also put out a little extra because I want it to show up on the camera.
It is extra.
Extra paint than I would normally put out. So I'm brushing this back and forth, just making sure that the canvas has a nice, even, flat coat of this orangish brown color. Quite orange, not quite brown, orangish brown. Then I'm going to rinse out my brush here really thoroughly. We always rinse out our brushes, and then we're going to put them aside for washing at the end of the painting session, because that's what keeps our brushes in great shape the longest. I'm going to dry this with a hairdryer. Little note on the hairdryer, I highly recommend using a cool setting. There's a variety of reasons for that, but it just improves the outcome of your painting and improves safety. I totally, my brain just went...
Yeah, heat's not good for the paint. It's just you don't.
So it
put
can
heat.
cause color shift,
Yeah.
and a heat gun could potentially create an
Definitely,
off-gassing in paint. So
Don't use heat guns.
I got caught up in my art nerdery where I was like, how deep do I want to go? But just basically, cool setting is fine.
Yeah.
I don't think hair dryers actually get it to a hot enough setting to be really problematic, but some of these new models are pretty powerful. So that's the recommendation. All right, when we come back, we want our canvases completely dry. So I'm going to take a number 20 Raphael d'Artagnan bright brush. This is a hog bristle brush in the shape of a bright. It's about an inch wide, and I'm picking it because it's large enough to do the neck technique, and I'm going to be doing dry brushing, and this is one of my favorite dry brushing brushes. At home, if you don't have this, just grab your closest brush or your favorite dry brushing brush for this stage. Dry brushing is fun. And if you've never heard of dry brushing before, I have a really cool free course. That's the Everything a Beginner Needs to Know course, and it's fantastic, and it covers stuff like that so that it's all second nature. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of my burnt sienna over to my phthalo blue, and I'm going to make that sort of greeny blue color. Add some white. Maybe a little more burnt sienna. Just kind of graze it a little, see? And then I'm going to start dry brushing over this canvas in little vertical strokes and sometimes in little horizontal strokes. Little burnt sienna, phthalo blue, titanium white. Light pressure. I'm letting a lot of the canvas show through underneath. I don't have a lot of water on my brush. I'm just creating this sort of like abstracted background. Can paint it heavier over here and then lighter as we get over towards this right hand side. So we do this technique every once in a while. I'm just being a little heavier over on the left hand side. Less of the background showing through over here. More of the background showing through over here. Got a little hair on there. A little bit over here. Now I'm going to have a rock and like a little interesting sort of rock thing here. So I'm just trying to make sure I've got a good dry brush. So what I should have is a distinctive blue zone with some of this orange coming through and then some of this brown orange really showing on the right hand side. So it's a very loose, abstracted background. I'm going to rinse this brush out quite thoroughly, dry my canvas again, and when we return from that, I'm going to show you what we do next. I'm going to use a number 10 Simply Simmons Bright. This is a synthetic filament. It's better for smooth applications of painting, though you can dry brush it with it. It's firm enough to dry brush with. I do like this brush very, very much.
We use it a lot in our garage sale kits.
We use it a lot in our garage sale kits. I'm going to take a little bit of my black over to my phthalo blue, and I'm going to add a smidge of dioxazine purple. And I'm going to come over from the right-hand side down to about the 2-inch mark. I'm going to make a little kind of ledge, a rocky ledge the beginnings of it. Paint everything. That dark color.
It's a good dark color.
It's a good dark color. I like it a lot.
One could call it a foundational color.
It might be a little more purple here. And when you go over the orange, right, where it's transparent, it will gray a bit. So we'll need to make sure that the coverage is good. Just painting it this solid color. A little bit of black, a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. Come here and kind of just paint down a little bit of a darker color. Just want it to be a nice little field of blue. Shouldn't be too hard to do. Just a nice little kind of downward ledgy effect. Now, the next step is much easier if this is dry so that we can do our little artist knife over it. So when we come back, I'll show you how we're going to use the artist knife to make a stone effect. So I'm going to use a diamond-headed artist knife for this next stage. If you don't have one of these, you can use like a loyalty card that you don't use anymore, you know, like a points card to do the same kind of scraping technique. Some people actually prefer to take those plastic cards and cut them to shape to do this. I really like an artist knife. That's my preference. And I do recommend having one in one's bucket if you can. I'm going to take a little bit of white over to my kind of stone color. Mix a little more blue. There we go. A little purple and black was still in there, so that's kind of good. And then I'm going to come here from the edge and just so what you'll notice is I load the bead. The bead is on the left-hand side. I stroke then from the right to the left. The bead is on the left-hand side. Kind of coming down. My knife is almost parallel, but has a little bit of an angle to it. Sometimes it's nice to go back up the other way, and you can sometimes scrape a little bit to spread out some more paint. See what I'm doing?
That's crazy.
Come along here, just edging it in. Palette knives take a second to learn about, but once you have them down, they can be one of your favorite tools in your little brush bucket. Just dry brushy sketchy with my knife. Once I have that amount of like little build up, I'm gonna come back with a little more white. And just very carefully go over this. Adding a little white to it. Just touching and adding little highlights. So that's how we get the little abstracted effect of rock. Rock.
It's rocking.
It's rocking. And got a nice dark base there. And with a little bit of blue.
It's not the Rock, because he's a highly respectable wrestler.
Well, he was a wrestler, now he's an actor.
He does other things, yeah, too. But I mean, like, you know, once wrestler, always wrestler.
It's a true story. Adding a little blue down here to sort of deepen this. And grab a little bit of quinacridone. Mix that into my blue and white. The more blue you have, the more purple it'll go. The more red you have, the more mauve it will be. It's a fairly dark value. It's just a nice color. And touch up a little bit here and there. All right. So kind of purple over here, lighter down there. Rinse off your artist knife, wipe it off, and let's dry everything thoroughly with our hair dryer. Now, it takes longer to dry when you use an artist knife because the paint is thicker. So just, plan on it taking a little longer for you to be able to dry it. When we come back, I'll show you what we do next. So I've kind of worked out a little idea of where I'm going, and I'm going to draw this in paint right now, step by step. A lot because the chalk is just very fine and isn't showing particularly well. Like I can see it here a little bit, but it's just really coming off. So I'm going to do it with paint. Not a drop of water though.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
I'm going to bring out some black. I'm going to come right here, about 4 fingers over from the left, and I'm going to just very carefully come up over right, making kind of like a rounded box shape. And in this rounded box, I'm going to have one. I might need to move them up. See, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes it's a little harder to sketch and paint.
That's true, it is.
Sometimes it's a little harder to sketch and paint. I'm going to wipe that up with a little paper. And I will move my eyes up then. I want just less room between the top of the head and the eye. So I think I'm going to have them right there.
Oh, yeah.
And I may actually, you know what? If I paint this in black, I can easily sketch in the eyes with chalk. And
I guess you could.
I'd not be so miserable.
All right, well, we'll do
not
that.
be so, So I'm going to take my bright brush here and I'm going to make short work of my shape because honestly, all of this starts off of a black base. Right here. It's quite dark through here. The forward legs and little mandible features I have to do once the whole spider is painted in. So drawing for painting and drawing for drawing are kind of different things sometimes.
Yeah, I do.
I'm going to rinse that out and put that to the side. I'm going to get my round brush again. This is a number 6 Raphael round. I'll load it up. And I'm going to come here. Just very carefully. Upward. A little bit over. Very slowly paint this in. Let's bring this leg down kind of forward there. It's a serious leg here.
I would say it's a serious leg.
There we go. And this one, similar deal. And then over. A little bit arachnid-like. Thinking about it being arachnid-like.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, got to figure out another location of another little leg. I'm going to want to dry everything, and we come back, I'll show you what we do next.
Okay.
So now I'm going to want to come up to the top of the head again and plan my two little eyes. And I've got chalk this time. I've got a Stabilo Carbothello chalk pencil. You could use the Dritz chalk tool as well. This is a Dritz Taylor's chalk tool. It just has regular chalk in it. Not like it's made for this, but it's just chalk as the material. You can also just use chalk from a chalkboard too. I'll make a big brown eye. I need to use this one. And now that's a good example of why I keep a couple around.
Right, yeah.
Another big round eye. Maybe even bigger. Right? Sometimes you want to exaggerate. Next two little eyes right here. Okay. And then we have right here kind of two little... These are like little mandible thingies. All right, and then we've got these little forward legs. Okay. Once I have that sketched in, I'm going to go ahead and take a little of my background color. And just paint that in. And a general reminder, the background was burnt sienna, cad red, and cad yellow. Now, whatever round I paint this, I got to just paint the other round the same.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Reasonable symmetry. Not perfect symmetry, but reasonable symmetry.
Yeah.
Now, very often, these eyes are a different color, but I'm not going to do that on this one. We're going to just have, we're going to do similar.
Yeah, just similar ones for now.
Mm-hmm. Good to know where those are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we know where things are. We can dry this, and we'll start fluffing our fluffy, fluffy, jumpy spider,
All right.
who looks very strange right now. So I'm going to want to come in and start to fluff him out, and I'm going to begin with a little bit of my quinacridone magenta and my cad red, little cad yellow, and then white. I'm using a number 0 Raphael Artini D brush. This is a hog bristle brush that's small in the shape of a filbert. It just also has a blending end. I'm going to make sure I wipe my brush out so that it stays dry brushy. I'm going to come up here on top of our little head, start kind of coming across, and then let's flick back for a little bit of fluff. And just dry brush around.
He's got a cute little guy.
He will be super cute. He's odd now.
A diamond in the rough.
Yes. Just painting that pink around that top half. And then coming down, I'm just going to get more purple. And we're just going to blend into the purple coming down. Kind of just dry brush it. Blendy, blendy, blend. The purple, if you did not remember, is our ultramarine blue and a little bit of our quinacridone magenta. Some white. I'm going to kind of fliff, 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 fliff. Rinsey rinse. And grab a little blue, a little phthalo blue. So it's ultramarine blue and phthalo blue together. I'm going to keep squeezing the water out of this little D brush so that it doesn't build up. Kind of pre-paint in the fangs a little bit of a dark blue. And I'm going to get some white on my brush. Just barely, right? A little more white on there. That looks pretty good. All right, let's dry everything. When we come back, we can talk a little bit about the legs. So now I'm going to come in and take my magenta, bring it out here, and add just a smidge of white to it. It's going to get me a fairly bright pink. And I'm going to come up here very carefully, paint a joint, and then another little joint. Kind of leaving a bit of black between them. And then another little kind of joint. And I got to fluff that up later. If you lose your black, you just come back with a little bit of black now. See? And just maintain your joints. Maintain your joints. You've got to have good joint health, or what are you doing? All right. I think I need to add a black line here. Just so that this I can kind of perspective the legs. Sometimes I will kind of think about that a little bit. While that's having a dry, I'll come over here and do these legs. Little white. And then some of it I'll get into the purple. So see how I took a little into the purple? This leg right here, which I'll paint fully, and then I'll cover it with the other leg. Has a joint. Now the bright pink will go right over it. A little bit of a joint here. And a little bit of a joint down here. And again, we're going to fluff everything up, so we're just painting in their locations at the moment.
It's a spectacular color set, though.
Yes, these are very colorful little creatures. A lot of people like them as pets. Like a lot of people like these little spiders as pets because they can recognize their owners. Well, owners is a strong word. They can recognize their humans. Little joint down here. At the bend. Back into that slightly purple. And then if I need to come in with my black.
Nice.
And while I'm at it, I'm going to take this moment to do a second coat on the eyes. And then on both sides, little second coat. All right, now that we have our partially this is blocked in, our spider's just blocked in, sort of the colors and the positioning and everything is taken care of.
Yeah.
And now we're going to dry it so we can do the next layer. So after drying, I was looking at my eyes and I checked it with a little bit of chalk, and I decided just aesthetically, I want them to be bigger.
Just a little bigger?
I want bigger, everything bigger. So I'm going to take my number 6 Raphael sepia round, and I'm going to go ahead and load up some more paint and sort of enlarge the circumference of these eyes. Enlarge them, make them even bigger. That way I can do my eye joy to them. You know how I have eye joy.
I do.
Love doing eyes. And these are I don't think I've done spider eyes before. Not really doing arachnid eyes, though. You get cute eyes. Though these guys actually, this particular type of spider actually has a very cute eye. Oh, yeah, I like
Has eyes
that.
for you.
I like the bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to rinse that out. All right. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my Mars Black. I'm very carefully going to come around the eye. Just carefully around the eye. And then the next eye. Little circles, and then maybe a little bit around these guys. All right. Once they're outlined, I'm going to still with my number 6 round. I'm going to come in the center here, kind of in the middle. Put a little bit of black. Just a little bit of black. I really need my screen. Coming up over the top. With the black. Coming over the top. One of the fun things, if you're not afraid of spiders, I have to say that looking up these types of fuzzy jumping spider, just do cute fuzzy jumping spider, they're actually really in real life kind of cute. They're kind of really, really cute. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my red. I'm going to come up to the top, start to sort of tap in some red. And right here I'm going to tap in a little bit of red. I'm going to get a little more red. Then I'm going to get a little bit of this orange here. I come in from the bottom and I sort of like tap in the eye like this. See how I'm sort of blending it? Tapping up and down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sort of a watery eye.
Yeah, I'm going to make kind of a reflecting, watery eye. Definitely, definitely. And then right here, there's a water drop. I keep wiping this brush with my towel, but I keep missing where the water drop is hiding.
It's elusive.
It is elusive. So what I'm doing is I'm using my brush to suction back up the water. And we'll give this a second pass go. Kind of almost like a little bit of a pupil there. It's not really, but leaving that little yellow. Now we're going to dry everything, and when we come back, I'll show you how we finish up these eyes. So now that this is dry, I'm going to put on my vision enhancers, and then I'm going to come back in with my round brush, and this time I'm going to take a little bit of my cad yellow and my cad red, and I'm going to make some nice orange here. Just a bright, bright orange. Roll that out. Oh, that water drop comes on. Gotta watch for that water drop. Round brushes all do that. It's more than any other brush. Just tapping that in on the underside. Gonna rinse that off. Now I'm going to take a little of my ultramarine blue and my titanium white together. Right here. Tap a little reflection. Tap a little, the start of a reflection. So this is the blue, and then we'll come in with hotter and hotter white as we go. All right, I'm going to find a little detail brush. I want a little tiny micro detail. I'm going to use this number 0 round precision. I'm going to get just a little bit wet and grab some black paint. I'm not doing a deep wash, so I don't have to worry about the water drop on this one. Let's make sure we have a nice line around the eyes.
I'm digging this spider dude.
Just cute, right?
Yeah.
Now I rinsed out deep, so I'm wiping the whole brush. I'm going to get some yellow just on the tip. I'm going to come in the center and sort of tap in some little spots of yellow. Might come here and do that a little bit too. Little spots of yellow on even the little eyes. Tapping up and down. Rinse out thoroughly. Grab some more red. Just a little more color in the, like a little bit here. So the eyes are all kind of like reflections of each other. No pun intended. Take a little bit of my black. Just make sure that my eye has a nice center that's very kind of deeply black. Let's give it a nice shape. Wiping off my brush. I'm going to go ahead and put out that fluid white acrylic that I mentioned at the beginning. Now, you could just thin your white paint, but for the purposes of me painting live, sometimes it's just easier to use the fluid white and just go straight to it. I'm going to go ahead and get a little white here. Tapping that out, kind of making a diffuse light, if that makes sense. Then I'm going to want to grab a little bit of white. The spiders don't actually have a waterline. We're putting that in. to cutify the eyes. I don't do this as a connected line. I tend to just very delicately come on that inside edge. There we go. How do we like that? Let's look at those eyes overhead. Oh, is cute.
Those are some great eyes.
Great eyes. This is just great. Okay, let's dry everything with our hair dryer so we don't smear anything that we've got. I'm going to come back and we'll show you how to fluff the spider. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my number 6 round and I'm going to make sure that I've got a little bit of a shadow line that I can play against coming up over here. Just really kind of put that. I'm even sort of dry brushing a little black down, kind of adding to the shadow, if you can see what I'm doing. Just dry brushing with my round brush. Just kind of deepening it. All right. Switch brushes. Switching brushes. I am going to use a number 8 Raphael d'Artagnan brush. It's round. It's got hog bristles. You might have picked up by now that I really like to use hog bristles for fluff. If you've never painted with me before, by the way, I like to use hog bristle brushes for fluff.
That's good to know.
The trick is keeping the moisture on them controlled because they tend to get a little soggy as they get wet. So that's why I also am constantly using my little towel. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my Cad Red and my Quin Magenta up towards my orange. Kind of mix a nice little orange color. Maybe a little more Quin Magenta. And when I have that, I'm going to come and get some white involved. And let's come up here. We're going to just flick. A little bit of hair back. See, floofy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll just touch the water. And then I do a thing called opening the brush. See how I'm pinching it? I just pinch it open.
That gives him excellent haircut.
We could use a filbert grainer. We could use a Deerfoot stippler. Just fluffing. Now, I'll take a little bit of that purple and maybe a bit of white. Fluff with purple. A little lighter. Kind of pinch my brush and very carefully add a few little fluffs.
Got a little bit of a stash.
Right, yeah, they do. They have little bits of stashes. They're just super cute, fluffy. Just fluffier. All right, now I want to dry everything, and when we come back, I'll show you what we're going to fluff next. So now I'm going to want to get into my pink again, which is my Quin Magenta and a little of my titanium white. There we go. Still using my round brush, my number 8. But now I'm going to come here and very carefully fluff out these little front paddles. And they get a little thicker at the tip and then sort of taper in. But they are fluffy. Floofy. See, floofy with joints. Floof, 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 floof. Floof, 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 floof. There we go. I'm going to rinse out. Those are kind of cute. Getting them fluffed up front. I'm going to come here and take a little bit of my Quin and Ultramarine Blue. Make a dark purple. Dark, dark, dark purple. Kind of fluff out my brush. And fluff this dark purple down here. See how we're coming off the spider with a little bit of dark purple?
Yeah.
Smidge of white. It's fairly dark, and we're just making sure that there's a fluffy continence, fluffy kind of expression. Okay, and then I'm going to come into my dark purple, kind of roll it, come here a little bit to the little feeders. Just pressing out a little bit of fluffy leg. This leg is purple because it's in the back.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So we're just playing with color. We're being very playful with the spider's color. And I'm going to get a little white. And work that on there. I'm going to sort of spread out my brush a little bit so it's going to give me nice fur. He's gotten quite fluffy.
I would say so.
I know I'm going to get like a bunch of like comments like of why would you paint a spider?
I think he's a great spider.
But
He's
I think these are super cute and it's a good topic for Halloween.
Yeah.
I feel. All right. So I'm going to come into my pink again. Load up on my brush and get a little bit of my white. Be a little bit nice pink. Paint a little puff, little fluff right here. Little pink fluff going up there. Little pink fluff for you and me.
Yeah.
Just fluffing the knee.
He's a super cute guy.
Doesn't really have a knee. It's a joint.
He's a joint.
It's a joint, but it's a cute joint.
It is. It functions, I guess, like a knee.
I'm going to get a little bit of white onto my pink. A little bit of extra fluffy highlight. I might get into my fluid just to improve the opacity, and I'm going to come into my little front pink legs. Make sure that they have highlighted fluff. Oh, that's looking super cute. I like that. All right, we need to dry everything, and when we come back, I'll show you what we do next. So I'm going to use my 3/8 inch Princeton Select Filbert grainer. You could use a Deerfoot stippler. You could use a detail brush, but I'm going to start putting some fine little guard hairs on his cutie patootie. I'm going to grab a little white on the tip of my brush, and I'm going to come up here and make little white guard hairs. It's a fussy bit of kit. I'm just flicking it out. Little white guard hairs.
That's pretty cool.
They're probably sensors. I'm probably calling them hairs, and they're probably like a modified tooth or something. I don't know.
They're pretty cool.
Every time I watch nature shows, and they're like, "Do you know what that is?" And I'm like, "That's a horn." And they're like, "That's a modified tooth."
I'm fascinated.
Looking pretty spiky. Spiky. All right, now I'm going to take a little bit of this to my purple. So they're light guard hairs, but they're slightly purple. Slightly purple.
So very slightly purple.
Slightly purple. In the morning. A little bit around the mouth here. Oh, that's cute. Yes. He's got Fuzz there. Fuzz, fuzz, fuzz. Fuzz, fuzz,
You have
fuzz.
found the way.
I've decided to be fast and loose and risky with the content. Paint a spider. There you go. He's looking pretty fluffy.
Yeah, working.
A little bit there. Kind of rinse out again. Come on, the pink. Now I might get a little blue into front ones. So just a hint of blue. Floofed.
Floofed.
Also floofed.
Super
Fuzzy.
awesome, yeah.
Very fuzzy. Oh, I'm seeing a little highlight I want to put on here. I'm going to take a little bit, I'm going to take this brush here. I'm going to get a little bit of my kind of white highlight. Just a little bit.
That's pretty cool.
Just come in and just make sure that these are little front mandibles. Sometimes I touch things up because I want them to look a certain way. Where did I put my little... Oh, there it is. Just like, where did I put my brush down? I'm going to get some white guard hairs again, just white. Sometimes I check my brush and make sure that the hairs are all separated. Fluffy. Cute and fluffy. Fluffy all the way down. The knees fluffed. I'm actually liking this. I wasn't sure. Like, I thought I was like, oh, painting a spider. People have such strong feelings on spiders, but I love these little guys, and I think they're such cutie patooties. And I thought a fuzzy one might be a lot of fun to paint. Paint a fuzzy spider, you can paint a fuzzy kitten too, so it's a good life skill. I'm going to come here and just very carefully a little bit of blue and white. So you can't, phthalo blue almost reads like a, gonna make this a little bit bigger.
Boy, this guy's turning out cool.
kind of bring him in. Brush that so those are a little defined. All right. I feel like he came out real cute here. So for me, for my purposes, I feel like I'm ready for a signature.
Yeah, I think he's pretty winning.
I think he's pretty tuned in. So I'm going to grab, because I used a lot of white here. I don't think it'll be a problem to use white down at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I always run out of paint by the hour.
Yep. Man, this guy turned out awesome. Just peeking up over the rock, saying hello.
Just saying hello, but that's what they do, and they do little high fives, and they're really actually quite cute. A lot of people keep them as pets.
Yeah, you mentioned that. That's
so
something that we're all gonna have to think
watch
about.
a lot of weird videos. This is how I learned this. I watched this one lady that keeps a bunch of these, and she does these little videos where she does little voices, little squeaky voices that are them. Like, I wanted to say hi to you. It's just super cute. And it made me realize, like, these are great for Halloween, but they're also cute. So it's a nice kind of combo 1-2. So I hope you guys enjoyed painting this. When we come back, I'm going to tell you what we do next. Well, that was a fun art journey, and I'm so glad I got to take it with you today. I hope you enjoyed your process of painting as much as I enjoyed my process of painting, and I'm sure as much as John enjoyed being here today.
Yeah, I like this guy.
He's super cute, unexpected. I know that I can think of a couple Sherpettes or Sherpazoids that are going to be super excited.
Yeah, I can think of a bug or two.
A bug or two. I can think of a bug or two. And some other people who've actually asked for this. This is not just a bug. This has actually been a request that I have been asked for years.
I know. There's like
So for everyone who's asked for a cute spider, there's a cute spider. I hope you like him, and he's so cute. I can just squeeze his little cheeks. Squeeze his little cheeks. And you should feel like that about your painting at the end. You can squeeze his little cheeks. If you'd like to,
we have a store where you can buy some of these materials.
Oh, yeah.
We have a SMS that we'll put the little thing below. And
you could like, comment, and subscribe if you felt like it.
We're just going to enjoy our little spider.
If you feel like it, what that means anymore. We're going to just keep enjoying our spider. Really, at the end of the day, I'd love to see yours. Please share in I have a Facebook group, the Art Sherpa Official. I'd love to see your version of the spider for this. I hope, and if you're doing the 13 days of Halloween, I hope you're enjoying this particular day. I hope this is one of your favorite days. All right. Nothing else to do but be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and I want to see you at an easel really soon. Bye-bye.